So this is a long question we kind of narrowed down here. Fishing Geneva, but let's just say deep water stuff. He's in 73 feet of water. The graph was lit from 67 to 73 feet. Was this weeds or bugs? Well, a lot of things going in here, and I'm going to start on this one because this is kind of in my wheelhouse. Depending on how your sensitivity is set, I would say, when I say proper or not proper, that's going to make that look a lot different, right? Like you can make a bluegill. That's what people understand when they say, what's your settings? You can make a bluegill look like, you know, a whale, or you can make a whale look like a bluegill, depending on your
correct
your sensitivity settings.
But in that depth of water, probably not going to be weeds.
Probably not going to be weeds because we don't have the penetration. Bugs, probably not. I'm going to tell you what I think they are. I think that they're smelt, or if the water was a lot cooler, which is probably not down there, it could be gizzard shad, which we're going to see more in the western end of the Central Basin.
Perch.
But almost positively, you're talking about those are smelt schools. Almost positively on that one. That's one of the few ones that I think we could answer pretty.
In that time of year, bug hatches are done.
Yeah, generally speaking, that's probably
if you're fishing that area.
What's the most, I want to hear you on this one. What's the most outside the box idea that you've ever tried and swore wouldn't catch fish, but ended up being really productive?
All these guys casting, you know. You would have said it 5 years ago, I'd have laughed at you. Coming to Lake Erie, casting spoons, casting jigs, you know, jigging around, all the stuff. Just to give the guys a run to win versus trollers. I just mind blowing.
And Lake Erie still just doesn't seem to set up as good as some of the other Great Lakes for consistency with that, because these fish move so much more and aren't on as much structure, generally speaking.
Correct.
You know, like, I mean, Lake Ontario, really Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, it seems like there's been a way more consistent.
Yeah, but they're not open water casting. Most of that is structure.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there's
but
more...
just like the championship that was won, they ran across the Canadian water and fished structure. But I know some guys that did fish the open water and were casting spoons, and they did quite well. One of them was in the top 10.
Yeah. If you're on fish, like, that's more productive, right? Like, it can't.
Yeah, because you zero it in.
It can be. I mean, obviously, if we can run 3 rods and I got somebody like you in the boat, we can catch 5 at once, where you can't do that if you got a rod in hand.
Correct.
But staying on those fish and not being through them, you know, for weather conditions.
That live sonar and casting would be my biggest.
That's a good question. I don't have a good answer. I mean, I would say just, you know, pulling spinners for me, you know, here and there you'll tell me something, or we'll try some wacky blade thing or something, but I don't know that a lot of the wacky things don't have long-term consistency, which is what I want. Like colors that catch them one day and then don't catch them for 2 weeks, like I don't even use them. Right. Those are done. Like me and you we've whittled down.
Yeah, it's funny how much stuff we have that we don't carry.
If it's a Hail Mary thing, it's rarely, I'd rather carry more other types of presentations that are proven than the Hail Mary things, unless we're dialed into a spoon bite. You know, like it's a killer spoon bite, I'll bring some extra spoons or something. Right. Sizes and colors or what have you. All right. I wish I had a better answer for that one, but tell us how you got started in the industry. That's a long one, but and we've done many podcasts and things on that, but a short version would be I wanted to fish, and so I found a way to do it. So I worked at a tackle store in high school, and then I started meeting people that I did, and I think, you know, birds of a feather flock together, and being associated with those guys. I mean, even now, like, you could see this with me, like, the guys that were willing to work, like, guys like me need help. You know? Right. You get older, you're trying to do things. We do a lot of stuff off the water, rigging boats all the time. Yeah. Getting stuck, you know, rigging Country Steve's boat. Correct. And so, you know, like, even our buddy Shorty Craig, he taught me a ton about rigging and doing that stuff. Oh. And I think nowadays that's the thing is get around the people and help them work for free. That's what I did at the beginning. And just to be around and soak up that knowledge and not be the guy saying, where do I go? What's the wave point? Because a guy like me is going to tell you to kiss their ass or something like that. Pound sand. Yeah, that too. Crumb dick. Yeah. Go pound sand, crumb dick. But sticking around with the guys and then doing the work and then realizing that it's not about just fishing. I mean, you see the stuff I do behind the scenes. There's as much work off the water. Yeah, people don't realize the work, and they don't want to put forth the work. And you got to associate with good people. You just
can't associate with bad people. It will follow you.
Dirtbag's bad. And there's a lot of them out there. Dirtbag's bad. How do you locate trophy walleyes? I see what these people are, they're getting a little more savvy with their approach on this, right?
Yeah. You'd have to use the correct settings on your high speed.
That is such a country Steve answer.
Transducer. And then you go around and find them. You work. You put in the time. You put in the hours. You got to move around.
You want me to tell you the simple answer on that? I think you're going to like this one.
I would call Ross.
Well, he does. He does.
No, I don't.
The simple answer is when you're catching fish and you're not catching the fish you're after. And at Lake Erie, that may be if you're catching 4-pounders at will. That guy that asked this question or somebody like that is probably not the guy that's going to pick up and move or completely change the program. If you're pulling spinners, go to cranks. If you're using big cranks, go to small cranks or go to a wiggle war. Whatever it is, when guys are catching fish at will, that is the time to experiment because you know they're biting and you've got to figure out something better. Nobody does that because they're happy catching fish.
Right, 100%. They don't want to put the time in.
Yeah, I think of the guy that's like, you know, the deer hunter, and he pays for this lease, and he does the food plots and everything, and he's like, I'm only shooting a 150 and up, like, because a lot of these guys deer hunt, right? And then the first doe that goes down, they just dirty up their spot, smoke a doe 5 minutes into the season. And it's kind of that same thing with the walleye fishing. Like, if you're going to put the work in, you've got to be patient.
Funniest thing, tournament season's here, April. How many people call you? Not me. I don't call you looking for the big fish. I don't.
He's savvy. He knows how to do it too.
No, I do not, because I don't want to know. Because I got people asking me. So you put the time in. It's simple.
Best way to deal with shorts hit on a crawler harness.
Slow down.
Okay, that's a good
Turns.
one. Yeah. I would tell you the other thing is me and you both use a treble hook on the back. I use a number 8. I'm using, I think it's an 8540 VMC. Super sharp little treble hook. A lot of guys are using way bigger stuff. Okay, fine.
I don't know. Turns is a big thing. People just won't do it. Slow down. Speed up. Work while you're in the boat. That's getting
more bites. Are you saying that's helping with short bites as well?
Yeah, feed it to them.
Yeah,
you see him hit the board, or you know, we're out fishing and we watch the boards, and everybody that fishes with us is like, "How do you know the fish is there?" It's because I pay attention.
They don't see. They do 100%. They're buried in their phone. Attention. They're eating Cheetos or whatever they're doing.
Nothing wrong with eating Cheetos.
You don't eat Cheetos anymore. We got Slim Country Steve in here with a cute kid. The other thing I would tell you is like. Again, it's easy to spend people's money for them, or they say, you know, that's the first thing we get back in some of these comments. So, well, I don't have a separate set of this. We're like, well, when you need a screwdriver, you need a screwdriver. When you need a wrench, you need a wrench. And some people will say, well, I can't afford to buy both. You know where I'm going with this? Buy the multi-tool. Multi-tool, there you go. And then you'd be screwed for both of them. But it's kind of like that in all seriousness with walleye fishing. You know, I'm using 8'3" Shimano Compres, and they have an MMD model, which is a much softer one. And I use that for spinners. If you use a really stiff rod that you'd use for crankbaits or jets or things like that, yeah, you're going to catch fish. But those fish that are hanging, I'm telling you, I just sure your landing percentage, your hookup, you need a softer rod when you're using that live bait stuff and going slower, in my opinion.
The guy that asked the question, is he trolling with braid? A lot of guys like to troll braid. If you're not, you know, mono.
That's why you're not here for your good looks, just.
Not all.
Mono. We all use mono. And I get guys all the time, why like braid? I'm like, oh, fine, then use it. But you're the one coming to us with problems. You want that stretch in there. You want a little bit of give. 100% we use mono for spinners. Like 99% of the time.
And cranks.
Most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time too.
Correct.